Tonight's topic is hidden gems. 2 movies, 2 books, and 2 TV shows that we feel are, let's say, underappreciated. But these are hidden gems. These are maybe not the best, not like, groundbreaking entries in their particular medium, but these are simply good. These are simply worth checking out. Maybe not great. Some of them might even have cult classic status. But these are stuff that, again, if nothing else in particular is coming to mind about what TV shows you check out or book to read or something like that, these are certainly a reliable choice. TV, here we go. So the first TV hidden gem, we have Warehouse 13. So it's a sci-fi show. The premise is these two, there we go. Yeah, these two agents. So they're Secret Service agents. They get transferred to, a warehouse, obviously, in South Dakota. I don't know, they probably filmed in South Dakota for budgeting reasons, no idea. So in this world, the world of Warehouse 13, there are objects that have been imbued with a certain energy, and that gives them particular properties, particularly fantastical, mind-boggling abilities. They don't exactly explain how it works in the show, but that's actually part of the mystery. The objects in Warehouse 13, they're called artifacts. Some of them might seem harmless, like Marilyn Monroe's hairbrush. You brush your hair with Marilyn Monroe's hairbrush and your hair turns blonde. Pretty simple. There's also the bell of Ivan Pavlov. If you've ever taken a psychology class, actually, maybe not. Actually, I think that's a fairly well-known name, but Ivan Pavlov, he did experiments with dogs. But again, so Ivan Pavlov's bell, they have out in the warehouse. If you ring the bell, and then dogs will you will summon dogs to you. Again, that's also pretty harmless. There is a harmless side effect, relatively speaking. The person who rings the bell will drool for like a couple of hours, fairly excessively. The real thing about this show is that there are other artifacts out there that are extremely dangerous. For example, there's a trident. Somebody takes the trident, jams it into the ground, earthquakes. So, and then there's also a pipe, like a smoking pipe. You use the smoking pipe, and guess what? Tornadoes. Yeah, you can cause tornadoes with a pipe, with, like a smoking pipe. Now, it is, granted, it is a sci-fi show. You're not always going to get top-notch acting talent. You're not going to get the, big Hollywood, Marvel or Disney level, like CGI and special effects. But this is simply a flat-out good show. I don't think it's available on Netflix, unfortunately, but this is pretty something easy, something good for binge watching. So Warehouse 13, you'll see a bunch of kind of like B actors kind of going in and out on this. Again, pretty reliable choice, not great, but plenty of creativity, plenty of imagination. And that's why I like Warehouse 13. So next up, Fringe. So maybe you heard about this kind of when it first started, because J.J. Abrams was behind it. And this was J.J. Abrams before Star Wars, before Star Trek. Basically, he was kind of doing Lost kind of at the same time. But actually thinking about it, if you liked the idea of Warehouse 13, but you kind of want a more like serious, kind of better quality, darker kind of version of Warehouse 13, actually Fringe is not a bad choice, actually, thinking about it. But anyway, Fringe. So the 3 characters you see here, they make up a special team at the FBI. They investigate very strange, unusual phenomenon regarding like technology, science and technology. That's kind of the real kind of thing about this show, is that science and technology are just rapidly advancing. You have unfathomably powerful technology, and you have genetically modified creatures and diseases. A little on the darker side, but there's still a little bit of humor, some fun, particularly with the character of Walter Bishop. That's this guy here. He's actually played by John Noble. You probably know him from The Lord of the Rings as Denethor. Yeah, he's one of the main characters. He's basically kind of like the quirky but brilliant mad scientist character. Now, it starts off as you can almost kind of think of it like the X-Files, if you're a fan of the X-Files. It starts out as, again, like kind of like a sci-fi FBI procedural, but then it just dramatically expands the world building, and it's great the whole time. It gets into parallel universes and doomsday devices and dystopian futures. Highly recommended. Again, I don't think that one's on Netflix either. Leonard Nimoy in one of his kind of last kind of bigger roles. Leonard Nimoy has a kind of reoccurring role. Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown, He also has like a small guest role in one of the episodes. Really, really, really good. Again, Fringe. So for TV, hidden gems, you have Warehouse 13 and Fringe. Attack the Block. So what if I told you that there's a movie out there with a pre-Star Wars John Boyega and a pre-Doctor Who Jodie Whittaker? The best part about this movie, in essence, is that it isn't a joke. That it's really well done. Like this movie had all the ingredients. And again, like lower budget, not kind of a big cast or anything like that. This should have been terrible. This should have been just like very, B-level sci-fi. It should have had more cheese than a Wisconsin farmer's market. And yes, I have been planning to use the more cheese than a Wisconsin farmer's market joke for a long time. But again, I called Attack the Block, British film. A small group of aliens lands in kind of, I think it's the east side of London, but inner city London. And this small group of locals have to kind of fight them, avoid them, figure out kind of like, okay, so what are they after? How do we stay alive? And then there's some obvious but not overdone kind of social commentary on like poverty and class and race. Again, very tastefully done. It should have been bad, but it really isn't. It's actually quite good. Some great performances, really clever, tight writing. Everything gets wrapped up nice and neatly. No glaring plot holes. The aliens do kind of look somewhat cheesy when it's in the full light, but mostly they're kind of in dark, you only get glimpses of them. So again, it's very well done. It should have been bad. It should have been bad, but it's actually quite good. Again, you have pre-Star Wars, John Boyega, pre-Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker. Inner city meets outer space. That's the tagline. So next up, Troll 2. Now, if you've seen Troll 2, you might wonder, why on earth is this on the list of hidden gems? Well, it's a hidden gem, just in a more unconventional way. It's very simple. Troll 2 is not a good movie. But it's so bad, it's good. Seriously, get a couple of friends together and have like a bad movie day and watch Troll 2. It starts out as just your generic bad, low budget, like horror kind of fantasy sci-fi movie, and it just takes a glorious spiral downward. You think, oh, there's going to be some trolls in there, right? Nope. I mean, if you look at the picture, you'll see the original boogeyman is back. No, the original boogeyman did not come back. There is not a single troll in this movie. The evil creatures, are goblins. Again, it's good for a bad movie day. A family kind of goes on a vacation to kind of a small town where all the residents are actually secretly goblins. And so the goblins try and turn the family into like edible, turn their flesh into like plants. And there's like this really weird, scary witch temptress kind of creature. And but again, starts off bad and then just takes a glorious spiral downward. If you do a quick Google search for anything like, top 10 movies so bad they're good or something like that, Troll 2 will be on this list. The Demon Cycle by Peter V. Brett. This is a nice, very easy read, very understandable. It will really pull you into the world. Nothing particularly groundbreaking, I would say. In the world of the Demon Cycle, it's your classic, medieval fantasy world based on feudal Europe. In this fantasy world, every night, demons, they call them corlings. They also have a couple other names, but basically demonic creatures. They rise up from the ground in the mist, and they attack people. And the humans are learning they protect themselves with wards. That's the magic system in this book, warding. So if you have a ring of wards around a house, then the demons, they can't get in. They can't get past the magic because of these wards. One of the bad things is that there is no map. Again, I've only read 2 books in the series, but I haven't seen a map for these books, and I don't like that. I like seeing a map in my fantasy books. It really helps me visualize it. The only ones I've found are fan-drawn, not bad, but leaves a little bit to be desired. So all the heroes naturally are, young, good-looking, intelligent, talented people. This is a hidden gem because I still think it's very nicely done, very easy to get pulled into this world. One of the things I think the author has been doing great so far is with characters. You really get to know these characters. You know exactly where they're coming from, what their motivations are. And he also plays around with the chosen one, prophesied chosen one trope / archetype, call it whatever you want. The prophesied figure called the Deliverer. He's supposed to save the world from all the demons. So there are two basically primary contenders so far. One of them is the first character you followed in the first book, The Warded Man. He seemed to kind of naturally slide into the role of deliverer, but the thing is, he doesn't want it. Like, he doesn't want to be the deliverer. He doesn't want to be called the deliverer, this figure. And then there's the other person, the other contender. He embraces that title. He is specifically, like, manipulated and risen to, like, a higher rank in his society, embraces the idea of being the deliverer. So that begs the question, who really is this? Who is this, chosen one? Is it the person who just kind of seemed to naturally slip into it? Or is it the person who actively embraces it? Sleeping giants. Funny story about how I got this. I was at a Christmas party and there was a white elephant gift exchange. One person got this was before it was actually put out on shelves, but one person got a whole box of 20 copies of this book, Sleeping Giants. And so the person was passing out, hey, anyone want a book? I'm like, free book? Yeah, I'll take it. The United States government has assembled a team to put together a giant robot whose origins are clearly not of this world and not of human design. It's going to be very big, very powerful, so naturally the government wants to, put it all together, see how it works, and, naturally there's all the political, military implications of the United States government having a giant, probably unstoppable robot. Something that was very refreshing for me when I read Sleeping Giants was that it's not told in your kind of usual way of first-person narration. It's actually told through a series of interviews and reports, broadcasts, that sort of thing. So that was certainly a refreshing way to approach a story. There's a couple of really interesting kind of plot twists, and there's some really interesting storytelling behind how they figure out how this giant robot is supposed to work. The protagonist, or maybe, I don't know, we don't know who they are, but we don't know who they are. They clearly have some high-level, top-secret access, CIA-level access, because they can basically go around to all these places, threaten people, and say, you will do this or suffer the consequences. And so it's really, really, really intriguing. There are 2 more books to the series. I have not read them. In fact, I only discovered that there were 2 more books to the series recently. So maybe I'll get around to it someday, but I don't know. My reading list is very long. Hidden gems, we have Warehouse 13, Fringe, we have Attack the Block, and Troll 2. The Demon Cycle, and Sleeping Giants.